Hi everyone. I'm going to do something again a little bit different, and I'm going to give you some more information. Now, I've been doing this for a very long time, and in my other tutorials I have explained to you how I use the Genesis oil-based paints to color my clay or to even paint my finished doll. Well, I'm going to share something with you today that you truly can do this, and you can use our kind of makeup. I'm going to be showing you, there's two kinds here that I use. Now, I'm not saying that this is the only brand to use or whatever. This is the brand that I used, and when I started to experiment, I have to say I really did like the way that the results came out. But if many of you have your own liquid makeup, try it on a piece of scrap clay. And then just don't do it on your finished doll, because you don't want to have something go wrong and you're out with all that time with your doll. Okay, now the only thing that I don't have, and I'm out of it, is that I have another color, which is again by L'Oreal. It's the lightest color. I think it's ivory, light ivory or something, but it's the lightest one. And I always have that one, and I do use that one quite a bit. Now, many times I might not use makeup, and I will use the Genesis oil-based paints, but I'm going to be honest with you, as far as the way the between the makeup and the oil Genesis paints, I would have to say that I love the way that this makeup goes on your doll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the head that I just did in my tutorial about hairline cracks. If you haven't watched that tutorial, I just put it up yesterday, and you might want to go and watch it. But now this doll head again is really, it's nothing but a scrap head. But I'm just going to show you with face makeup. Now, when I do this, I have to do my whole doll. The arms, the legs, you know, everything. And the other thing that I really want to stress with you, and you also have to be concerned with this also, is that if you're using like Genesis oil-based paints or some other kind of paints that you're using, excuse me, your doll has really got to be very smooth. If you've got an area to where you have a real fine line to where you didn't quite blend your clay, well, that paint and the makeup is going to go deep into that crack, and then when you wipe it off, it's going to show up. So that's why I've said in all my tutorials, and I swear by these Mr. Clean magic erasers. I do not live without these with the clay. There's two most important things that I will always have, and that is my polymer clay and my magic eraser. Okay, now then, after I did my tutorial yesterday, I started to just mess around with the magic eraser, and I just started to just clean it up just to see what it would do. And then the idea came to me, well, you know what, this face isn't really bad enough to show you what makeup can do to your doll. So if I have an area that maybe I could have smoothed it out a little bit better. I don't know. It might help if I put my glasses on. Wait a minute. Okay. It'll be okay, because if I do, then you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Now then, I have taken my eraser, and you want to really work that. Now my clay's all, it would be all finished and everything. And I'll do this after my doll is completely done, but not painted, okay? I will just go in there and I will just give it another smoothing to where, it is smooth like glass. Okay, now the thing of it is you want to make sure, let me just wipe this off. And I am going to do a darker color. Now, this color here is one that I use that when I was coloring my polymer clay, which if you've watched my tutorial, I do tint my polymer clay with the Genesis oil-based paints. Well, there was one time that I wanted my doll to have a little bit more of a suntan look, and it wasn't quite dark enough for me. So I got a darker makeup, and I'm going to use this on this doll because it's going to really show up. Okay, now what I would do, let me put some on my table, and take a paintbrush, and you want kind of a soft one and clean. Okay, now here's those hairline cracks. See, that's the one that this is the head that I did in the tutorial to show you about the hairline cracks. But I'm just going to go over and I'm just going to paint one side of the face, and then I'm going to do the other color on the other side of the face. Now, if you do get it on the eyes, remember, it will wipe off. Because the makeup, we are going to wipe it off, and you'll see. And it goes a long way. It does. I know face makeup can really be expensive, but I'll tell you, I mean, this bottle here, I can't tell you how long I've had it. I mean, I've done the face makeup on the polymer clay for so many years. It, excuse me, it works so well. And basically what you're doing is you're putting the pigment into the polymer clay. And when you're using the paints have a pigment too, so that's what you're basically doing. Okay, now let's say that I am going to be finished with that. Now, I didn't have a paper towel. Let me get a paper towel here. You can use a paper towel, but really and truly, I just don't have one with me, but normally I like to use a nice soft and white, like a cotton. Okay, but the paper towel will work. Now watch, I'm just going to go in there and I'm lightly rubbing that off. And then when you put this in the oven, I got some on my finger here. I'm trying to keep it to one side so that we can see the difference. Now you're going to see, maybe you're going to really see my cracks now. Okay. I have to say I love using the makeup, face makeup on my dolls. And even the blush too. But I do like the Genesis oil-based paints. It all depends on really the doll that I'm doing and how I'm feeling about it. That has a lot to do with how I do my art. Okay, now for the area, let me see if I can get this off. Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of like blend it. And I'm just gonna move that makeup around. Now I'm going to, I will be doing a tutorial more on the painting. Matter of fact, my commissioned fashion doll, if you're following that, you're going to see me painting it. So, but I just had this doll out, and I says, you know, I've got a little bit of time here, and I'm also going to be making another tutorial. I got a little request about how do I condition my clay. And I had thought about, you know, putting that up. And in my thinking, which my thinking sometimes isn't always in the right direction, I think, well, everybody knows how to condition clay, okay? Well, you don't. And I apologize for that, because I didn't. You know, I just assumed that, you know, there's so much information out there that, you know, people know how. But I had a request that somebody really wanted to know how I condition my clay. And I don't know, my heart just opened up. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it. Because sometimes when you see it, how it's done, it's, I don't know, at least for me, because I'm a visual person. Okay, now then, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the difference. Now, if you wanted that darker, you would go ahead and put it on darker. Let's see. I'm hoping it's going to really show up on the camera. Now, let's try this one. You want to make sure your paint brushes are clean when you do this. Okay. Okay. I am going to take this one because it is a little lighter. And let's see how this one is going to look. I'm just going to put it right in there because I don't use this makeup at all. Okay. And I'm just going to paint that on there. I've even used concealer, but you know, the concealer, you get such a little bottle, and you know, again, it's not cheap. So the face makeup goes a lot further. And the one thing that I do want to say, but it's going to really depend on, you know, your way, okay? I find that if I go into the let's say the dollar store, or I buy the real cheap face makeup, it doesn't quite work to the way that the little bit more expensive ones. But again, that's going to depend on the person, because you might say, oh, the cheap stuff works so good. You know, it's going to depend on you. Okay, and you wipe off as much as you want, but there is a color that is staying on. Okay, now let me clean my brush off. And then I would go in there and just blend it. Get it out of most of those little cracks, but you do want it in some of those cracks, because that's going to give you the some definition to your face. Okay. But look at that. I mean, if I didn't have those hairline cracks. Okay. Now I'm just gonna really just go over it. And I'm wiping it pretty good. I mean, you're not really seeing it that much, but I am. And it shows you that that makeup is staying on. And then when I put it in the oven and cook it, I don't know, for some reason, I can take the paper towel to it and it just won't wipe off. Now, if I really wanted to get it off, you can. And I'm going to quickly show you. And I'm going to try to do this area right in here. Okay, here's my magic eraser. And can you see a little bit of that is coming off? And really, to be honest with you, sometimes I will put the face makeup on there and I will go back over this. I don't know, it seems like it makes it more realistic. There, I found the word. Now, a lot of people will use watercolor pencils for the blush, eyeshadow. Wait a minute, there's something else, because I used it too. I think I've tried them all. Blush. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some blush. And I'll tell you, I really like using a little bit of kind of like a liquid blush, but you don't have to. This blush here, I'm not really that crazy about it. I don't have my real good one. I like one that's lighter. This one was a little bit too dark for me. Okay, But I'm going to show you, and it'll show up on the camera. Very, very lightly. And then I take, because this is so dark, I just kind of like pat it. Go back in there, pat it. Okay. And then, let's do it without the cracks. And I do it very, very lightly because I don't like my dolls to look like, what, Santa Claus? The big, red, rosy, very exaggerated. I said Santa Claus because Christmas is over with. Okay. Okay, and I just would blend that in. Okay, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but see, I even have another hairline crack right in there too, and one that went right up in there. Okay, but can you see the blush? I mean, now if I wanted to, like, maybe blend it a little bit more, I can take my magic eraser, and get that hair on, and just lightly go over it, just lightly, to make it look natural. I love it. Now I would put just a little bit more on it. Okay, now I'm going to show you another thing to do, and I use eyeshadow, and I'm looking for it. Okay. Eyeshadow works very, very well. I don't know, yeah. Okay, I need a little smaller brush. I've got to go out and get a whole bunch of new brushes. Mine are so worn out. Okay, I'm going to take just a little bit of brown, and I'm going to use a light one. And I'm going to go right down her nose because I want a shadow on her nose. And if you don't see that that is quite dark enough, go just a little bit darker. And go, I always go right inside her eye right here. If you hear that noise in the background, it's my dog. Put a little bit more. The other thing that I want to suggest is, which I think a lot of women, you know, look up ways to apply their makeup on, but if some of you don't, I would really recommend this. If you go on YouTube, there's so many people that have wonderful tutorials up and shows you, you know, how to get more of a definition in an area, how to eliminate a definition. I mean, you can do the same thing with your doll with the makeup. So just keep that in mind. Now, I'm just going to okay, now I would, which I don't really have it on me right now, but I would put just a little bit of a highlight right in the corner. The other thing that I was thinking of that we used to color your doll, pastel chalks. I find that the makeup works a little bit better for me. Mica powders, depending on, you know, how you're doing her eyes or that, mica powders really work very well. The only thing that you have to watch with your mica powders is that it can be all over your face, which you can wipe it off. And really, the eyeshadow can be the same way too. I've got a little bit right in that area there. And see, it comes right off. Okay. And let's see. I'm going to take a little bit more brown and I'm going to put it right in her, by her nose nostrils. And maybe right in there, there. And sometimes if the tip of her nose looks like it's too long, you can put a little dot on her nose. Okay. I wanted to share that tip with you with just face makeup. I'm really hoping that it is showing up on the camera. I'm going to view it and see. And I will, because it looks to me like it's not showing, but I'm going to put a little bit more blush. Now, I would not be putting more blush on my doll because I feel like she's got plenty. But I'm doing it for the camera. Okay. And of course, you're going to put it, you know, wherever. And like your brown, you know, right up around the neck. And I don't know what it is about the heat. I can't answer that. But if I go, after I put it in the oven, I come back, I can wipe it with my finger and it won't come off. You know, I don't know, again, if certain clays will react different than what I'm doing. I'm using Kato and Cernit, and those two really work very well with me. Okay, there is how I would do face makeup. And I'd even put some blush up in here. But I wanted to just show you the part with the face makeup. And some of you can might want to just practice. It'll give you something to experiment. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to make a tutorial for that person that wants to see how I condition my clay. And I will have that up if many of you are starting out for the first time and would like to see that how to condition. I'm going to have it up. The other thing is I will be going back to my commission fashion doll, and I do have my arm attached, and I'm going to show it to you. But remember, I really don't have to put any clay over this because it's all going to be covered, but I did want to show you I am working on it. And what I'm doing is I'm going to be starting the legs, but I want to explain a little bit more to you about the arm. And look, it is so sturdy. I'm telling you, that epoxy sculpt is amazing. Okay, everybody, I hope that this little tip with the makeup will inspire you and try something new. Again, please do not try it on one of your dolls that you've put many, many hours in. Please try it on a scrap piece of clay, because I did it in the beginning. And again, like I said, I have used this face makeup for many, many, many years. And I even have a couple of dolls myself that I kept that the makeup looks like I just put it on. So whatever, you know, somebody might say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, sometimes you can't. But you know what I learned? I learned that I stopped listening to all the things that I couldn't do, and I went ahead and I did what they said that I couldn't do, and I experimented, and I did it until I was so sure that it was not going to go against my polymer clay. Then I found out there was a lot of things that I could do when everybody said that I couldn't. So I'm letting all this information out, and I hope that you will give it a try. And I am going to go make the tutorial on how I condition the clay, and then I'm going to make my next tutorial on showing you my commission fashion doll, the shoulder, how I did that, and I will be doing the legs. And I am going to be doing some shoes. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea of what I might do. But again, you can't hold me to it because I could change. I'm going to try and show you how to make leather shoes, boots, not out of clay. It's going to be out of, not real leather, because I don't do that. I don't do that with the animals. I love animals, you guys. But it's an imitation of leather, but you really can't tell. It's really good. And when I show you how, what I use, then I think you're going to like it. So everybody, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. It's going to be a great channel. I am going to be showing you so much stuff that you're going to really be excited, and you're going to be so inspired. And this is what I want. Art is a wonderful thing to be into, and it just makes you so happy. And I think that every single day, if we just made something, just one little thing every single day that makes us feel so good, oh, how much more can we ask for in life? Life is to be happy and wonderful. So get your clay out and create something. And I'll see you in my next tutorial. Thank you so much and have a wonderful, wonderful day.